In this video, I'm going to give the instructions for the grit essay, but first off, I want to point out how important this essay is to your grade. It is essentially worth 10 points in your essay, which is compared to like the 4 points that is normal for your paragraph exercises. So you add like 6 paragraph exercises and they were each worth about 4 points. So you could see that the essay grade is worth about twice as much as the paragraph exercises. Now, if you're hovering around that 70% that's needed to pass the class, I recommend doing really well on this essay to boost your grade. Now, you can find the instructions for the grit essay on page 13 in the syllabus. All right, so you want to keep this page handy. Now, the first thing you're going to do in the grit essay is choose which thesis statement you want. And your options are failure doesn't stop people with grit because of blank, blank, and blank. And you can fill in those blanks with what you think the answer is. For your second option, you have the growth mindset Carol Dweck talks about in Grit is a necessary characteristic for gritty people to have because of blank, blank, and blank. Again, you can fill this in as you see appropriate. All right. Now, once you have chosen your thesis, this is just like the thesis you were often given for your paragraph exercises. This is going to go guide the argument in your entire paper. So before with the paragraph exercises, your thesis statement would just kind of guide your argument for that one paragraph. Now that this is guiding the argument for the entire paper. Okay. And what will help you with this is doing the outline that is given in Sutton Fisher. And I'll explain that in a different video, but you can also find the link to it up above on your screen. Now, this is a 5-paragraph essay. So let me explain what the 5-paragraph essay format looks like. In this format, you have an introduction paragraph, and then you have 3 body paragraphs and a conclusion paragraph. Now, in this course, we've just focused so far on writing body paragraphs. That's what you were doing for your paragraph exercises each week, was practicing body paragraphs. That's what is covered in Chapter 8 in our Sutton and Fisher textbook. Now, next week, I'm going to explain how to write an introduction paragraph and a conclusion paragraph. So don't worry about those just yet, but I wanted to give you a visual for what a 5-paragraph essay looks like. Now, to go back to our instructions, what are you going to be putting in those body paragraphs? One is you must use either a summary or a quote from Duckworth's book, at least once. You may use more than one summary and more than one quote, but the minimum is one. So you have this source right here. Then you also need to use one of these 3 videos. You don't need to use all 3. One is good enough. You can use Carol Dweck's The Power of Believing That You Can Improve. And Carol Dweck is the same person who talked about the growth mindset in Duckworth's book. So same exact lady. You could also use Sarah Blakely's advice on failure, or Jian Zhang's What I Learned from 100 Days of Rejection. Okay, so either one of these videos would work. You just need to use one of them. If you want, you may use an additional source like Duckworth's TED Talk from week 1, the True Grit article we read last week, or any Bible verse. If you want to use an additional source, you need to get my approval first by sending me an email with your source and explaining why you want to use it. Now, what I want to make clear is that these sources, whichever video you choose, plus Duckworth's book, need to help you explain and prove how the thesis statement is true, either how a growth mindset is needed for grit or why failure doesn't stop gritty people. Okay, so you need to be able to figure out how these sources will help you, and that's a bit of the goal this week when you do the outline activity. Now, some additional information you need to know about this assignment is that you're going to use Mla formatting, which I will cover next week, but you may choose whichever citation style you desire. That could be MLA, APA, or Chicago. So it's kind of a little different to mix and match formatting and citations, but that's kind of how this course has gone, so you're allowed to do that. Right now, that's all you need to know. This paper is going to be due next Sunday, so the last Sunday of our course, so you have 2 weeks to work on it. All right, and if you have any questions, please don't